There we go. Hi there. So yesterday we had an assignment, and that was to figure out what lies we're believing. And the Lord really helped me today with one. And actually, it was a couple different things, but it kind of culminated in this one idea. And the last, there's been some stuff going on for the last few months that's been really hard and emotionally upsetting and draining. And I wasn't coping with it very well, and I didn't know how to handle it. I mean, I was praying about it, but I wasn't I wasn't getting peace out of it. And you know how when there's stuff going on in your life and you keep wrestling with it and wrestling with it and you can't figure out why you can't get on top of it sometimes. Well, the Lord showed me this morning, which I really appreciated. And it was a combination of two forms of idolatry. And the first was self idolatry, in that it had something to do with, I can't even think now what it was. It had to do with my opinion and listening to, oh, I know, it was my feelings, listening to my feelings and my opinion, which didn't necessarily line up with what God says about me. Okay. So if I'm feeling less than or I'm being judgmental of myself, that's not how God looks at me. God sees me. Hey, Shanti. Shanti, I just sent you an email. We're actually, this is the second Monday night meeting night. It crept up on me really quick and I missed sending out the email. So you got an email for tonight for, for prayer time. And so I repented. I repented of self idolatry in terms of my opinion, whether it's my opinion of others or my opinion of myself. I repented of that because that's a form of self idolatry. Okay. When I put my opinion above God's opinion, God's word. And then thinking about it some more, I had some peace, but it didn't cover the whole thing. And then God showed me the reason why I was really upset was because I had put other people's opinions of me above his opinion of me. And that was really the crux of the problem. It doesn't matter if other people like me or don't like me. It doesn't matter if they tell the truth about me or lie about me. It doesn't matter if they want to make me look good or make me look bad. It doesn't matter, because what matters is how I look in God's eyes. And when I realized that I had made an idol out of their opinion of me, um, that it just made all the difference. It made all the difference. I repented of that. I repented of that idolatry, of other people's opinions being more important to me than his. And when I repented of that and asked for his forgiveness, I finally got peace. This has been going on for months, and I finally got the peace. And I don't want to say that I'm apathetic. That's not it. Um, but it doesn't matter. It's not that I don't care, but it doesn't matter. And there is a slight difference to that. And and I just realized that, he will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is stayed on him, if our minds are stayed on God. But you see, I was trying to keep my mind on God, but sometimes we need to repent when when we're trying to do something, we can't get it to work. There was something I needed to turn from. If I had just turned to God and was in peace, was able to keep focused on him, that'd be one thing. But because I was struggling to have peace, there was something over here that was still causing an issue. And I needed to take care of the issue so then I could have the peace. So that really helped. It really helped. So I don't know what things you're working on, but um, I'm going to ask God to continue to reveal to me the lies that I'm either telling myself or the enemy's telling me. Most likely, it's lies coming from the enemy, and then I seem to be making them my own. I'm like owning his garbage. I don't need to own his garbage, and make it my own. So I'm asking the Lord to open my eyes to other lies in my life that I've been participating with. Hey, I got company. Want to see who my company is? Kitty. Yeah. Yeah. Here you are. She's happy to have me back home. I've been gone all week. So she's like, yay, you're finally home. And her name's Kitty. It's real original. She's the third cat we've had called Kitty. Because we've had other kitties and we'd get them and then we couldn't remember their name or just, it just naturally would come out Kitty. So we just gave up trying to give them new names and just call them Kitty. So, and she doesn't care. She's happy being Kitty, aren't you? Yeah, she is. So that was actually it. That was just my short little thought for the day. Ask the Lord to show you what lies you're believing. And when you realize what it is, try to figure out what the root is, idolatry or unbelief or whatever. I'm working on those. Uh, My my true goal for the year um, is to humble. God's word for me for this year is humble, and that really to be humble isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing, and it doesn't mean you're humiliated. There's a difference between being humiliated and being humble. Humble is actually knowing yourself, and to know yourself, who you are in God, is a humble thing, and it's okay. We're in our own strength. We're nothing in our own. We don't have righteousness of our own, but as followers of Christ, we have the righteousness of Christ, and so it's humble to know who you are and to know who you're not, and it's all good. And so this whole stuff that's been going on in my life, it's okay. It's been difficult, but the Lord's helping me go through it. He's allowing me to be humble through this to learn who I am and who I'm not, and who he calls me to be, and to learn how to walk this out. So this is a good thing. And I got myself into this situation that I didn't need to be in. He didn't really want me here, but I'm here and he's helping me through it. So that's good. I'll be glad when it's done. Um yeah. So that's it. Kind of just we'll keep it short and sweet today. See what the Lord leads you to. If he hasn't shown you anything yet, ask him. I mean, he wants this for you. Ask him to show you. But God, show me what lies I'm believing, so that you can get rid of that in your life. We need it. Jesus died so we could have freedom from that, freedom from lies, so that we could have truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So let's let him give us the truth, okay? All right, we'll see you later, Shanti. Am I going to see you tonight? You're going to be on the call tonight? We'll see if she is or not. I'm going to scoot because I have to get to the grocery. I'm going to a quilt guild that I used to belong to a long, long time ago, 20 years ago. And, oh, you're looking for my email. Okay. Yeah, I should be there. Well, maybe not. I just sent it just before I started this, I just sent it. So maybe it's still coming through. And so I've belonged to him for a couple of years now, but it takes me a little over 2 hours to get there. And it's worth it to me. If the weather's good, I go. And if the weather's lousy, I don't go, obviously. And I'm a little tired. It's been a very busy week with a lot of travel, but I want to go. I need to go because I'm dropping off a quilt. There's a library down there that displays a quilt from our guild every month, and it hangs there for the whole month. And they have a really nice display place. They have this great big brick wall, and they hang it up on the brick wall. And I volunteered for the month of July, and I have to give it to somebody in July. I'm looking for my quilt. It's all bagged up. I'll show it to you later when it comes back. Chris and I took a class together with a woman whose name, what is her name? Britta Nelson. Britta, like the water filter, Brita, Britta Nelson. She goes by the Questioning Quilter. She's on YouTube. And she was an engineer. And now that she's retired, she does this quilting. And what she does is she takes normal blocks, like a 9-patch. A 9-patch looks like a checkerboard made up with 9 patches. And then she cuts it, then rearranges the pieces, and you sew them back together, and you're like, voila, you get this wonderful pattern. And there's one called an hourglass, which looks like it has this figure eight hourglass in the middle. Again, it's using what's called half square triangles, blocks, square blocks that have a triangle in the middle. And she uses four of those. You create that block that looks like an hourglass, and you chop, 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 rearrange, and it ends up with this really neat sparkling design. So we really like that one. Chris and I have made a couple blocks of that. So there's Shanti talking. I'm hoping to connect with you guys tonight. Good. Oh, there's Seta. She says hi. Hi, Seta. How you doing? All right. Aaron's like, hello. And Shanti says, I'd love to start quilting. Well, it is a lot of fun. I've been doing it for a long time. And it dawned on me the other day. Now, I'll have to show you. My house is a mess. It's a hit and run accident because I've been in and out all week long. But I'll show you. I've got a treadle sewing machine. A lady at church gave it to me. They were moving and downsizing. So here it is. Treadle sewing machine. There's the treadle down on the bottom. And it's fun to sew on. This is an old Singer. It's from 1921. We found the serial number. We could look it up and find out. We could even find out when it was made, in January of 1921. And it is. And she says it's beautiful. Yes, it really is. And I took it to the sewing guy. There's an Amish community where I take my sewing machines to get serviced, and had it serviced and oiled, and it's all in good shape. And the last quilting retreat I went to, I went around and I grabbed everybody's scraps that they were throwing out. All the scraps that were like little triangles. Okay, little triangles, bigger triangles. And I pile them here on my machine. And if I have a few minutes, like maybe something's cooking for a few minutes, I run over and I sew those little triangles together. Oh, there's some more. Oh, here's some that I've sewn together. Okay. I'll put you down over here. So I'm going to take these little triangles. There's a dark one and a light one in each case. And this is called chain piecing. It's when you sew one, you sew the next, you sew the next, you sew the next. So you don't have to stop and start the thread between each one. You just keep going. And actually, it's easier to sew that way if you just keep going, because then the thread doesn't get jammed up. So when I open those two where I've sewn them, you can see this is what I've got. Okay, I've got like a little kite there. And I'm going to open up these two. Come on, open up. There. So I've got two that are open like that. When these are cut apart, oh, here, I got my nippers. I can show you what I'm going to do. I call these nippers. I don't know if they have a special name. That's what my grandmother always called them. It was just nippers. They're just for cutting threads. They're not for cutting fabric. So I've got these two triangles that I've sewn together, and I'm going to put them together like this and create squares from the two little kites that I've made. And this is just from scraps, and I'm having fun getting scraps from people. And I hope that when I've got a whole mess of these sewn together, I'm just going to put them all together into some crazy quilt. And you know what? The colors aren't going to go together, and the sizes aren't going to go together, and I'm not going to worry about it. I think it's more fun. I'm excited to be trying to do this, to put all these scraps together to see what it comes out like, and have it be truly like the old fashioned quilts. Before quilts became an art, quilts were a practicality, and you didn't throw anything away. And if you had a dress that you couldn't wear anymore, you cut up the parts of it that were still good and turned it into something practical, and you made a quilt out of it so that you could still get use out of that fabric. Things were such a premium. So for me, this is fun to be sewing, sitting here. I want to make this completely on my treadle sewing machine. I don't want to use my electric machines at all. And it's fun to sit here and pedal. Well, what dawned on me, oh, you like that idea? Isn't that cute? I'm 64. 59 years ago, when I was 5 years old, we had a treadle sewing machine out in the garage. And in the summer, I would sit out there. And I don't know how old you are, but once upon a time, they used to send fabric samples in the mail as a part of advertising. And there'd be little scraps of fabric, about 1 by 2, maybe a little bit bigger, of men's suiting, men's shirts, women's blouses, women's skirts. You get these little pieces of fabric, and I used to sit out in the garage and sew them together on the treadle sewing machine and pretend I was making a quilt. I thought, here I am, essentially 60 years later, sewing little scraps of fabric together, pretending to make a quilt. So I thought, I've come full circle. I have come full circle from my childhood to doing this. And I thought, isn't that funny? I need to, I don't know, to me that seems significant, but I'm not sure why. It seems significant to be doing something that I did when I was that young and enjoying it. So it just gives me something to think about. God will have to show me what the uniqueness of that is. So anyhow, so there is a lady at our guild who teaches quilting and has been teaching quilting for 30 years, she said. And this was this little trick that she showed us about sewing these scraps together. She said, you just want to sew them together so that you have a straight edge and a right angle. Okay. There's a right angle, and you're going to sew along one of those edges. And that way, you know, when you open it up, you're going to have a straight edge. The idea is to end up with a straight edge. And when you have those two straight edges, and when you press at the iron, when you go to press these, you always want to press towards the dark side. Okay, see how it's sideways? See that edge there? See how it sticks out there in front of my shirt? You can see how it sticks out. Well, the dark side of that is the flower part. So you want to make sure this seam allowance goes down so that it's hidden. When it's open and it's pressed, you're not going to see it shining through the white. It's only going to be under the dark side. And when you do that with both pieces, when you do that, when you go to put them together like this, I'll show you, they actually nest. The two seams will nest together. See how they nest? Like that. And they fit nicely. And you get them all lined up, and then you're just going to stitch right along that edge. When it opens up, you're going to have a nice square like that. That's called an hourglass block when it looks like that. What am I trying to show you here? I guess that's all I can show you with that one right there. Shanti says, laugh out loud. That's super adorable. This new project must bring you so much joy, especially because it's connected to a childhood memory. I think so. I thought, why am I having so much fun with this? And I think it's because of that memory of doing something. I really enjoyed that when I was little. That is something I really fun. Yes. Yep. And she says, interesting. Iron towards the dark side. Yep. Yep. You always iron towards the dark side. And when it's laying flat, you're going to take your iron, you're going to press it because you want to, it's called setting the seam. You don't have to hold it there long. You're just enough to heat it up. You just press it for 2 seconds, take it off. And the side you want it to go to, in this case, the dark side is the side you want to have up that you're looking at. Because when you go to fold this open, it'll cover that seam, and then you're going to press it again. What you want to be careful to do is not be ironing. You're not ironing, swishing and ironing and swishing. You do that, you're going to end up twisting your fabric, because when it gets heated like that, it gets the fibers get a little soft and loose, and you're going to end up making it kind of squirrely and cattywampus. And so you just want to press it. You're going up and down with the iron, okay? You're not swishing and going around, okay? That's something that you learn as a quilter, how to maintain the integrity of your fabric, so that it doesn't get stretched and out of shape. But there's a lot of people who teach quilting, and you don't need to be hearing it from me. There's good teachers out there. So I am, like I said, I am looking forward to working on this. So that's it. I better scoot now. Let you go. I got to get to the store. Oh, so that's the whole reason why this came up. I've got my quilt guild tomorrow. Tomorrow's our June picnic, and I'm taking meatballs, and I have to go to the grocery and get some ground beef so I can make meatballs tonight and get them in the oven and take them down, 'cause I gotta take I'm tired of taking deviled eggs. I gotta make something else, and I thought I might make Swedish meatballs, which sounds good. Meatballs with, like, a sour cream sauce. Sounds good to me. I'll eat them. So, alright, we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming by. There we go.